Alright, section 4.
Hi, Jessica.
Yo.
4. Factoring a squared, ax squared plus bx plus c. Now, what's different from this section than the last section, which was what? Factoring factoring x squared plus bx plus c. What's the difference between those two things? There's an a in this case. So do you not think there's an a up here? Yeah, a is 1 in this case, but a is anything but 1 in the stuff we're about to do. So it makes life more complicated for us, but more fun. Okay? Like this one. Example 1. We're going to factor 5x squared minus 17x plus 6. You can no longer say, okay, factors of 6 that add up to 17. Can't do that because you got the 5x squared. So, some of you probably remember how to do this from Algebra 1. Okay? I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. So, number 1 way, which will work for all of these problems. The other method, you don't want to use it in every situation. So, here's what you're going to do. Step 1, factor A, which only factors into 1 and 5, 5 and 1. And then you're going to factor C, step 2. So, step 1, factor A. Step 2, factor C. So, what are the common factors of 6? 2 and 3, 1 and 6. So, I'm going to go for 2 and 3 first. So, 2 and 3. What your whole goal is right now? Your whole goal is to get 4 numbers that multiply and add together to give you what? Negative 17. We're still trying to get that middle term, only we got 4 numbers to work with instead of 2. Okay, so it's a little bit trickier. So let's try this. There's only one way I'm going to get negative 17 now, is if I make these 2 negative, right? These 2 multiplied together give me positive 6. These 2 multiplied together give me positive 5. Now let's mix and match these things to see if we can get negative 17. So first thing I do is I like to cross. I like to match up 5 and negative 2, and I match up 1 and negative 3. Match up 5 and negative 2. If I multiply those, that's negative 10. If I multiply these, that's negative 3. Those don't add up to negative 17. So I know that those 4, well, I should say, those 4 in that order don't work. So I'm going to try a different order. You guys know? 1 and 5 and negative 3 and negative 2. What if I did this? Cross here. Negative 15. Cross here. Negative 2. Look at that. Add those 2 up and you get negative 17, what you got right here. So what I know is these 4 numbers are my factors, which go into these right here. So where do these 4 go? That's the big question. All right. So 1 and 5 represented this right here, so I know they go first. So it doesn't matter which one. 1x and 5x doesn't matter. But where do these 2 go? That's the question. Anybody got a cool method or a quick method to know where they go? Or you guys just kind of guess and check? Huh? It might be what you're saying.
There was this Korean method.
Oh, Korean method? Huh? Bottom and top? Okay. That could work. I just need to... I'll do it. Yeah. Here's what I thought of. I thought, well, I matched 5 and negative 3. When do I ever multiply 5 and negative 3? If I FOIL, they're either going to be inside or outside. I can't put, what you think logically is, you might think, oh, 5 and negative 3, they're together, so, put them in the same thing. But you never multiply these 2 things in the same bracket, right? So you have to put them opposite. So this negative 3 has to go in here. So when I multiply the inside, it has to give me negative 15. When I multiply the outside, it has to give me, what, 1 and negative 2. So negative 15 and negative 2 give me negative 17. All right. So, so there's no nothing good you can say. You just kind of got to figure it out, right? Kind of guess and check, but kind of not. Let's see. So how do you know if this is right or not? A quick check. Please, you should never, ever get the wrong answer here. Ever. Why? Because all you have to do is say, okay, how do I get 5x squared? X times 5x. True. Check. How do I get positive 6? Negative 3 times negative 2. Check. How do I get negative 17? Outside and inside. Inside is negative 15. Outside is negative 2. Check. Done. I know it's right. There's no way it could be wrong. You understand that? So, nobody should ever get these factoring problems wrong. Ever. Okay? Please. So, here's your factors. Circle those. Make them known here. X minus 3, 5x minus 2, done. Okay? Example 2, you try. Same method. Find factors of A, find factors of C, and then I guess the third step up here would be what? Find the 4 numbers that multiply and add to get B. I guess those are my steps right here. Alright. Factor A, factor C. Find those 4 numbers that multiply and add to get B. Alright, that's that method. I'm going to show the other method on the next one. But you try this method. Okay? Let's see. Right here. Example 2. 3x squared plus 20x minus 7. You try that one. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to teach you a new method. Alright, go ahead, take a seat. Here we go. I'm going to use my new method right now, which you might have learned, but most people don't know this method. So, I call it slide and divide. I'm going to slide the 3 down. X squared plus 20x. Slide it down to make it negative 21. Factors of negative 21 that add up to 20. X minus or plus 21 and x minus 1. Since I multiplied by 3, I'm going to divide by 3. I'm going to do this real quick. I'll show you later. Divide by 3. X plus 7 reduces 2. And I'm going to put this out front. 3x minus 1. Done. Okay? It could be a real quick method. You don't have to do that. It would work for everyone, but you don't want to use this for every single thing I throw at you.
How did you know to divide 21 by 3 but not to divide negative 1 by 3?
I did divide negative 1 by 3, but then I put this out front here. I'll show you the method, okay? I just wanted to show you it can be quick. It can be a quick method. Watch. I'll show you again. Alright, here's my steps. Step 1. This is called slide and divide. Anybody ever learned this before? No? You did?
Yeah, but it's not called that.
No? Okay. Well, I founded it. No, I didn't. Wish I could say that. Somebody told me this about 8 years ago. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like that. So, here's what you do. Step number 1, if you're taking steps. You slide the A down to the C. Okay? Rewrite it. X squared plus 20x, since I slid it down, and multiply it, that becomes minus 21. That's step 1. Slide A down. Step 2, factor like normal. Factors of negative 21 that add up to 20, which are x what? Plus 21, x minus 1. Now the problem with this method is when people get this far, they think they're done because they factored. But you didn't factor the original. You factored that thing in the middle. Right? I mean, check it. If you multiply these two together, you're not going to get this. You're not done. Right? So please, if you use this method, please remember to keep going. Alright? Now, after you did this, well, since we multiplied by 3, we're going to undo that. So we're going to divide by 3. just in these two spots right here. That's step number 3, is divide. Okay, so if you're writing steps down, step number 1 is to slide A. Step number 2, factor like normal. Step number 3 is to divide by the A value. Whatever A was, that's what you divide by. Now, step number 4 is the simplify step. So step number 4, simplify these two things. So this becomes x plus 7. And 1/3 doesn't simplify, so I'm going to leave it there for now. X minus 1/3. Now this can't be it either, because x times x still gives me x squared and not 3x squared. So step 5 is your last step. If you have any denominators, you move them to the front. So I have one denominator right here. Since I have one, I move it to the front of the x right here. That's step 5. Move all denominators to the front. And then you should have your final answer. X plus 7 times, if you move that to the front, 3x minus 1. That's the method I call slide and divide. Now the only way I wouldn't use this thing is if I told you to factor this. Because when I multiply A times C, that's like factoring. Now I got to factor 300. You know what I mean? I don't want to do that. So the only way I use slide and divide is usually if these two numbers are fairly small. You know what I mean? When they start getting big, I don't use slide and divide. It just takes too long. Because you got to find factors of 300 that add up to 20. That might take a while. Okay? So you understand? There's two methods right now. Slide and divide. Use it for the easy ones if you want to. I don't care what method you use, honestly. I could care less. Alright? But I usually use, factors of 3, factors of -7 that add up to 20. Find them. Okay, you got it. So some of you might like this. Some of you might use this. That's good if you do. And okay if you don't. Any questions on it? Okay. Let's move on then. Example number. Let's look at some guided practice here. These are all fairly simple because A and C are both what? Yeah, prime numbers. So it's fairly simple. Factors of 5, factors of 3. Figure out what makes 16, right? But as soon as I give you bigger numbers, that's when you're going to have to take a while to factor. Okay, and I'm going to give you one here shortly. Just do this one real quick. Do number 3. 2w squared plus w plus 3. This cannot be factored. There are no factors that multiply to get 2w squared plus w plus 3. So don't make it happen if it can't happen. Okay, sometimes it can't happen. Cannot be factored. Write that down if you haven't wrote it down. Okay, don't write no solution, please. Alright, this one will take maybe a little bit extra time because they're not both prime. One of them's prime, the other one isn't. Try that one. So, factors, well, you could have done it either way. Actually, slide and divide in this case would probably be faster than doing it the other way. But either way you do it. I'll do slide and divide. X squared plus 5x plus or minus 36. Fraction of -36 to add up to 5?
No.
X minus 9. X plus 4. -9 and 4. Make 36 and add to 5. But I have to divide by 3 because I multiplied by 3. X minus 3 in this case. This doesn't simplify, so therefore I'm going to just put this up in front. So 3x plus 4. Done. In this case, it was easier to do this than probably check all your different things. But I don't care whichever way you want to use. Just make sure it works. Do a quick check. -9. Oops. Oh, see? That's why you check right there. Plus 3. Minus 4. See? Plus 3. That makes +9. minus 4, that makes the positive 5. There you go. Good catch. Yes.
Can you the second last step?
Oh, you divide by 3? You get that step? Then you simplify step. So 9 divided by 3 simplifies to 3. This doesn't simplify, so you could rewrite it. And then the very last step is moving the denominator out front. So, yeah, you want to make sure that's good before you keep doing that one. Okay. Next type of example, special patterns. So, why is this a special pattern? Huh?
Missing B.
Okay, it's missing B. All right, so that's one thing you think. Okay, there's no B in this one. So therefore,
1.
similar to, yeah, is it a difference of squares? Is it a difference? Yes. Is this a square? Yes, it is 8 squared. Question is this a square? So this, I always do this first. I kind of put parentheses. Difference. Okay, yes, this is a square. 8 squared. Is this a square? Well, 9 is a square. True. X squared is a square. True. So the whole thing must be a square. What is the whole thing squared? 3x squared gives you 9x squared. All right, now, why did I put that? Some people write that as their answer. No, that's just to show me that you have a difference of 2 squares. That's just showing me that. Now, what's the real thing? Well, you should know a squared minus b squared equals?
A plus B and A minus 1.
A minus b. There you go. So, all I need to do, I wrote it like this so that I know my a and my b. That's why I wrote it like this. So, therefore, what is my a?
3x.
Good. You didn't just say 3. You didn't just say x. It's all of this. It's 3x is my a. Okay? What is my b? 8. So 3x minus 8, 3x plus 8. If you multiply this together quick, you get 9x squared minus 64. Any questions on that one?
Isn't it like x 2x plus
Well,
Oh wait, it's negative.
yeah. All right, so I'm going to give you a chance to get no homework. Ready?
Come on.
Factor.
Come on.
9x squared minus 81. If everybody gets it right, no homework. Right? Okay? So here's my advice that you'll want to star for yourself. Anytime it asks you to factor, anytime. This isn't case by case basis. Anytime. Step 1, look for a greatest common factor. You want to star that because I'd say that just like that every year, and I'd say half the people still look at that real quick and say, that's a difference of squares. Boom, 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 done. You won't know how many people I get on this stuff. That's why I'm taking my time to emphasize. Always look for a GCF first, no matter what. Now, knowing that piece of information that you should have already known but you forgot, knowing that, what is our GCF?
3.
9. 9 and 81. 9 is our GCF. You pull it out. You factor it out. Right? 9 times x squared minus 9. Now look at that. You done?
No.
Nope. This thing right here is a difference of squares. You factor again. You factor until you can't factor anymore. Okay? So 9 times, this is x plus 3, x minus 3. There you go. Final answer. Don't let me get you on the quiz or test because I'm telling you right now, a lot of people will still do it. Yes, Angela.
I was just wondering, what if you simplified it? Like divide it by 3? If you got 3x minus 9, does that work in every case?
You want to?
And then you would have the 9 on the outside.
No, because when you factor it out, it works. Oh yeah, because I don't know. Never mind.
Got it?
I got it.
Okay, so factor out the greatest common factor and then see if it keeps factoring. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So stop when it doesn't. Okay. Alright, so these two are just normal. Letter B. This is just showing you can get a perfect square trinomial. So factors of 4, factors of 25, 2 and 2, 5 and 5, they make 20. It's a perfect square. That's all it's showing you. 2y plus 5 squared. Perfect square trinomial. Same thing for the last one. Just realize one thing. 1 is a what? What is 1?
Prime number.
Actually, 1 isn't prime. Look that up. 1 isn't technically prime.
It's not. Prime has
Starts from
one and it's
One and
yeah.
Yeah, I know.
one is itself.
Yeah, that's a tricky one. You would think. I mean, it seems like 1's prime, but technically it's not. But well, that's not what I'm saying. What is 1? A what? 1 is a blank.
Number.
Perfect square. 1 is a perfect square. People don't think of 1 as a perfect square, but it is. 1, 4, 9, 16, all those, right? 1 is a square too. So just remember that. So 36, 6 and 6, 1 and 1, and they make another perfect square again. So I'm just kind of glancing over this. 6w minus 1 squared. Okay, let's get to do a bunch of factoring problems. The more you do, the better you'll get. Okay. Let's see. Example 4. Do this one. 5x squared minus 45. Factor. Alright, step 1. Anytime you see the word factor now, some lights should pop on in your head. Ooh, factor. What should I look for? What should I do first? Alright? This one's not hard to do because this one you don't think it's a difference of squares. But as soon as I say, as soon as I put on here a difference of squares, 9x squared minus 81, you straight away think difference of squares instead of GCF. Okay? So if you do this one, pull out a what? Pull out a 5? Is that all? X squared minus 9. This factors again. 5, x minus 3, x plus 3. There you go. The final answer. Factoring. Letter B. You try letter B. There you go. Go. Quick. I saw about a 30 go right into 6 is 2 and 3. 8 is 2 and 4. Match them up. Okay? I'm telling you, that's because that's your instinct right now. So you have to change your instincts to be the first thing you should do is GCF. Okay? Please, that's why I said start on your papers. Change your instincts right now. Step 1, GCF. If there is one. Sometimes there's not. 2, pull it out. 3q squared minus 7q plus 4. Now you look at this and say, can I factor this? Yes, you can. Alright? Factors of 3, factors of 4. 1 and 3, and we'll say 4 and 1. But I have to get negative 7 in here, so negative 4, negative 1, give me this. Okay, so now just match them up. What do they match? These two, match up these two. That becomes negative 4. This becomes negative 3, and oh yes, becomes negative 7. There you go. These are the 4 numbers that I'm going to work with for my factors. So therefore, I got 2, I got parentheses, I got parentheses. Put these 4 numbers in here. Well, 1 and 3 are up here. So 1q plus or and 3q. Now, where do you put these 2? That's the question. So let's see. 3 was matched up with negative 1. So 3 has to be multiplied with negative 1. That's why I'm going to put negative 1 here. 1 is matched to negative 4, so this 1 is matched to negative 4. So quick check. These are negative 3. These make negative 4, which makes my negative 7. Correct. Okay, so q and 3q make 3q squared, so on, so on. This and this make positive 4. That's a quick check, so hopefully everybody can do that check. Alright? Don't get these wrong answers. So, there you go. Final answer. Any questions on that?